Good morning. This is Mike Houston with your Tuesday morning weather hazard briefing for southeast Idaho. Hey, if you want to skip the lengthy briefing, we aren't expecting any hazards in the coming week. But if you'd love to hear my voice, just hold on. The key points, a few weak disturbances will cycle through the region, producing isolated thunderstorms this week. Otherwise, we should see mostly dry and warmer conditions starting Wednesday. Taking a look at satellite imagery this morning, we have some lingering moisture in the form of clouds across southeast Idaho. You'll see these this morning. This stuff will probably begin to dissipate as we work our way through the day. We also have a weak disturbance here over northern California, which will drift up into the region. We'll take a look at that here in a minute and see the impacts across our region. Taking a look at the weather risk outlook matrix of doom, basically I have little or no impacts through the week here. Just a mention of slight chance of showers or thunderstorms in various areas as we see some weak disturbances cycling through the area. Taking a look at the storm track today, as I mentioned, we had a weak disturbance here over northern California. That is expected to cycle up into the southern border region late this afternoon and evening. May produce some light thunderstorm activity here across the southern highlands, maybe even extending into the midnight hour down here in the Bear Lake region. We'll wait and see how that happens. But you look further upstream, you can see additional disturbances that will be migrating their way into the region here over the coming week. As I mentioned, the chance of precipitation with that first wave looks like mostly here across the south central highlands, but as I mentioned, perhaps extending as far east as Bear Lake into the midnight hour. As we advance the storm track into Wednesday, you can see those additional disturbances beginning to work their way towards either Canada or the northwest coast. We do have another weak disturbance lifting up in the flow here up across southeast Idaho, which may bring yet another round of light thunderstorm activity here across the southeast highlands, primarily Wednesday evening, and then up near Salmon and the Panhandle region with that northern disturbance here on Wednesday afternoon. Advancing the storm track to Thursday, we see another disturbance here working into the Seattle coastal region with primarily a dry southwesterly flow across the region. We will see some isolated thunderstorm activity in that flow here, mainly up along the Montana border as a result. So as I mentioned, with the clouds across the region today giving way to maybe drier conditions, we should start out the week on the cool side, with temperatures generally running in the 60s here in the Snake River Plain and mid-50s to mid-60s here in the Central Mountains and Eastern Highlands. Daytime minimum humidities will generally run in the 30s or maybe even higher here, closer to 40 across the Eastern Highlands. But, and the impact with those lower temperatures today would be, at least in the severe fire danger index, would be low with the recent precipitation and elevated humidities, not expecting much in the way of any type of fire danger. Jumping ahead now to the end of the week with the warming temperatures, you can see the daytime highs here, at least in the Snake River Plain, approaching 80, maybe mid-80s here in the eastern Magic Valley. And if you get up into the Central Mountains, generally in the mid-70s to lower 80s, and similar readings here across the Eastern Highlands. Also, take a look at the minimum humidities across the region, generally running from 15 to 25% here within the Snake River Plain, and generally in the 20s to lower 30s here across the Central Mountains and Eastern Highlands. The impact with the warming temperatures and lower humidity on our fire danger, we will see some moderate fire danger beginning to creep back into the region, but I think that series of storms with precipitation have really put a dent in our fire expectations here, at least for this week. We would need to see some at least warmer temperatures and maybe some wind to help dry fuels out across the region. Okay, in summary, we do have a few weak disturbances that will cycle through the region. over the coming week, and that may produce some isolated thunderstorms in some of the localized regions of the mountains. Otherwise, we should see mostly dry and warming conditions starting at least by Wednesday and continuing into the weekend. That's all I had for you here this morning. If you had any comments or questions or you wanted to reach out to us, you have several avenues here that are listed on the screen. Thank you.